one. So I'd like you all to hold on for a little while we wait for all that to join. So over to our host.
So can you see two of us together, please?
No, I can see only you.
Yeah.
Tina.
Okay, we'll just manage.
Okay, okay, well.
Yeah.
Okay.
hmm
I don't know how.
Yeah, I think this
Okay.
is a bit okay.
So you can hear, right?
Yes, I can hear you very well. Very good.
Yeah, so are we good to go?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
let me put it to you. Let me be controlling it this way. So when you talk, I just move it, okay? I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome to another live session. And this is the Glorified Family Outreach. We welcome you today. Though we've been away for a while, but we are back. And thanks for always being there for us. So today, topic is going to be
Okay, thank you, ma'am. I think compliment is a kind and sincere word or statement that you say to someone, like when you want to appreciate someone or encourage someone or recognize something good about them. Just like you saying, "Wow, you look good. You did a good job today." And how they appreciate you and how you impact my life. Like, oh, your words have been so kind to me and meaningful. Because of you, I was able to overcome this depression. Like something, anything that is kind and sincere from your heart, not just saying something anyway. That should be kind and sincere.
so back to our Mister now. Our Mister is right here.
Okay, yeah.
So
So
what do you have to say about
yeah,
compliments or
so
your own terms?
yeah,
With
so welcome
compliment?
to today's online section. Um, you know, compliment, is really a way two partners can actually fit together in a balanced and supportive way. In the real sense, it's a way that marriage is not all about, our similarities, but really identifying each other's weakness, strengths, differences, and balance it in a way that you can tolerate each other, you can actually complement each other. And in doing so, one of the ways you show it, is by actually using words to express it. Like Tega rightly said, when you tell your partner, um, I love what you are wearing, you look so beautiful today. It gives her confidence, even when she goes out, So that's what complimenting one another means. So I'll go back to you and then.
Yeah, so to me, compliment means appreciating one another. Compliment also means supporting each other. Compliments also mean kind gesture towards your partner, your spouse, and also showing appreciation and admiration. Like what Mr. rightly said, um, if your spouse is, looking good, uh, you just have to, make that compliment, which will give her confidence. But most time, people don't know how to express, um, show expression. But like we said, these are like minor thing. I want to give like a biblical support to what we are saying in the book of Songs of Solomon. Songs of Solomon 2:15. It talks about little foxes that spoils the vines. So these little foxes are like little issues, minor issues. We take them for granted, but these are things that are very important to people's emotions. So we have to be mindful of these little things. And that is why we are talking about compliments today. So compliments, is a way of showing love, it's a way of showing trust, and it's a way of showing support to your spouse. So they are really minor. And some people will say, what does he want, or what does she want for me? I provide everything at home. I give him or I give her whatever she needs. So what else does she want? But you don't have to expect others to do your job. They look so minor, but if not properly checked, it could like build up over the time and could lead to, destruction to the marriage. So, which brings us to um, what are those complementary terms that we should be using in marriage? Mister, what are those terms?
Yeah, so
Why I said, I'm sorry, why am I always calling Mister? Women, we women, we like soft spoken words. We like to be complimented a lot. So is the reason why I'm always calling Mister to give us some tips. So what are those complimentary terms? We want to know them.
okay, so let me remember in our previous video we said, can money guarantee marriage? And the simple answer is no. It can give security, but it doesn't guarantee. And that is one of the reasons we're actually discussing this, because there are very little things that matters most, just mere compliments. Like most times when your spouse finish dressing and she's leaving the house, as a guy, you just look at her and say, you look so beautiful, Those are the things they love most. It's not all about how much you give to them. It's not all about the designers that they wear, but you look so beautiful. That dress look beautiful on you. If you don't do that, someone is going to do that to her in the office. Someone is going to do that to her in the neighborhood. And each time she finish dressing up, she come out to look for that person to compliment. So before you know it, someone is the one complimenting your wife to say, "Oh, you look so beautiful on the dress." It's not you anymore. And that focus and attention is going to transferring to that person. And that's why you see two people are in the house, but they are like strangers in the house. So I'll just give the first one, say, appreciate everything you do for the family. So most times we want to appreciate our wives and say, hey, I appreciate everything you do for the family, because women love when you shower praises on them. Also, men, now if you look at social media, we saw in social media where some women, when their husband comes back from work, they just
They spread
they
wrapper on
spread
the
wrapper
floor.
on the floor and say, especially the Igbo women in my
Odogu.
country, Odogu, my what? My Odogu, and before you know it, the guy will bring money and start spraying them, So so they actually matter a lot, because the man will not know when you say, okay, the other time I needed to change your car, just because simple compliments. Rather than the man comes back and you say, you didn't drop money before you went out, or I've been laboring, So it's just complimenting them, making them forget about their weaknesses, making them to know that they are appreciated. When you appreciate your spouse, it's neither here nor there, man or woman, but when you appreciate your spouse, it goes a long way. Yeah, so I've mentioned the first one. Oh, we appreciate everything you do for this family, and the woman is happy that her role in the house is recognized, is appreciated, and that's what they need from us. It's not all about money, it's not all about gifts.
Yeah. So, Tega, do you have other terms?
Okay, times about appreciating you.
Compliments, complimentary
Okay,
appreciation.
you can tell your spouse, "Oh, I admire your strength." Because when
Yeah.
you tell your spouse, "I admire your strength," it keeps them emotionally and physically attracted and alive. Because most persons might feel all what they are doing, you don't really see them as someone that is useful, So when you
Mm.
make them feel they are useful and their strength is being noticed, they feel emotionally
Mm.
alive, because some people are living but emotionally they are not alive, And secondly, you can as well speak words to build them up, like, oh, do you know
Mm.
you're going to be great? I see greatness in you. Just trying to affirm
Mm-hmm.
words to them, like, I see greatness in you. She'll be like, wow, I never knew I'm great. Because the persons are acting like they know who they are, but right down inside of them, they don't know who they are. So they need their spouse to actually tell them those words to make them
Mm.
know that they are great people. Because most women in society, especially in Nigeria, some of them are already giving up on themselves. They feel a woman should end the kitchen, a woman doesn't have a career,
Yeah.
Yeah, a woman cannot make a name for herself and all that. Yeah. So I think as husbands, as a woman, so I'll talk about husbands. As husbands, we should try to encourage our spouse, push them to the highest heights. Don't try to pull them down with our words. I think that's what I'm saying.
So that's to say that compliment is like reciprocal, So it's neither here nor there. It's not on one party alone. So it's on both parties to compliment each other. Please, we are not seeing. We need more comments. Please, we need to see comments in the comment section. Please pop in your own suggestions. What complementary terms do you know, so we could discuss it? So,
Yes.
okay,
Okay, so like also we are looking at a glorified family here. So it's really not between husband and wife alone. It's not between only spouses, but we are looking at also your relationship with your children. For instance, most times when the kids have an exam to do or something, and uh, my wife will say, "Oh, you guys, you are not doing well in this subject. You are not, blah blah blah." But I'm just there to say, "Come on, I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud of you. I know you can do it." It boosts their morale. You understand? So you have to compliment kids as well. That's the number one thing you can do to help them. I'm proud of you. I know you can actually do this. I know you can do it. So they are happy to prepare for that course. They're in a better frame of mind to prepare for it. Most times you can, even when you say I'm proud of you can also go ahead and say, oh, I promise if you make an A, I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to buy, PS5 for you. And you see them each time. I do that to my kids, and each time they come back, they come to me and say, hey, Dad, I made this in my test. I promise I will make better in the exam, So it's always good we use this complementary language, to complement one another. It's very important. Uh, so someone just put, how do you handle spouse who don't say compliment, but they are still supportive, maybe don't understand the compliment language? Yes, so everybody must learn these languages. There's nobody that, most people are not, they cannot express themselves using the love languages. Most of the time we call these love languages.
Yeah.
But, you should know there are different ways they can do it. Probably your husband will never tell you, oh, babe, you are the best, you are the best wife I ever had. But, when he comes back and he sees some good things, he say, oh, don't worry, I will change your car for you. I bought you a gift, So there are ways you can also show it as well. But we always encourage that, let everybody use these languages because they are more important than gifts. You can buy me a gift, deep down in me, I don't know if you appreciate me. I don't know if you are just exhibiting your wealth for people to know that you can buy your wife a car or buy her a designer's bag, but we must learn to use them. They are very simple. Tell your wife, oh, I'm happy I'm married to you. In my next one, I'll marry you again. It means a lot to her. It makes her smile.
So what we are saying is compliment, does it have to be only in words? What about other form of, gestures? So what are other things that could um liking to we could liken to compliment? For instance, let's say a hug. Maybe you came to the house and you see that your spouse has been, let's say for instance, the mother of the house has been putting so much doing the house chores. Just a simple hug, a simple peck. It's not just by words alone. So what this person is trying to say is that some people are still supportive, but they don't just know how to say it. So what do we have to say about that? Tega, do you have any comments on that? What's your view on that? Some people can be supportive in other ways, but they can't say, they don't know how to be expressive.
Okay, there are different ways of expressing yourself. We talked about words, but you can also help with shows, like doing shows with your spouse, preparing a meal like a surprise meal. They're also giving them time to rest. Maybe you have kids and your wife has been in the kitchen for a very long time. For you to compliment her, you can also help with the kids. Try to maybe put them to bed while she sleeps at least for 30 or 1 hour. So I feel also respectful behavior. Make sure you speak, be conscious of speaking kindly with your spouse, avoid insults during disagreements, and also honoring your spouse opinions with strong appreciation, not always arguing with your spouse. That's
Yeah.
another way.
So compliments, how do we know genuine compliments? Because some people,
Many,
some people could, yeah,
many,
some people can compliment you, but behind you, they just want to do it that if I don't do now, this person will complain. Let me just pretend. So how do you identify genuine compliments?
well, so like I said earlier, for me, I'm not that kind of guy that actually can use those words so often, that I love you and all those stuff. So my wife is very good at that. She can tell you 100 times a day, and most times she made me to start saying it because if she say, oh, I love you, she want me to
You
say,
have to say,
I
you have
love
to
you too.
respond.
So yeah, so before you know it, I started saying it as well. But by act of you know, uh, showing a heart of gratitude and letting the person know that you truly, care and love, is something that a way you can actually express. Like she said, you can give her a hug and give her a peck. It's another way to actually express as well. The truth is that it's not by just saying it, you have to show it.
Yeah.
Showing is actually more important as well. Even when you say it, I appreciate you, and it's always very important to show it as well. So your question that you asked, how
Gen-
do you know it's genuine?
mm.
It's really when you show it and you do it. It's not just saying it, oh, I appreciate you, and
I can hear.
not just saying it.
Yeah.
Follow action, you know. How do I put it? Where's
Don't just say it, but
but show
do
it,
it. Yeah.
So how your spouse know that you actually mean it is by showing it, for her to know that you truly really mean what you said. The compliments you give, you actually mean it. Yeah, I don't know, Tega, if you have anything, how you know it's genuine. Hello, Tega, how do you know it's genuine?
Okay, when it's genuine, it is always consistent with behavior.
Yeah.
That means, for instance, when your spouse really complimenting you, he or she will listen to you and respects you. That is genuine. It is not only given when you want it,
Mm.
even when not is expected in return, and it feels very natural and it's not exaggerated. It's always very natural. You will not say
Yeah.
extreme words. That means if you are saying extreme words, that means you are flattering the person. It's no more a
Mm.
compliment.
Mm.
There's also focus on effort and character, not just appearance. Like you don't just appear just the physical aspect of the person. You also appreciate the character of your spouse. Like, I admire your strength. You handle this wisely. Those kind of
Yeah.
statements.
Mm.
I respect your commitment to the family. So
Mm.
it's something that is natural, it's not exaggerated, it's consistent, and it's not something you do out of proportion, but something you do kindly with kind gestures. Yeah.
So, should compliments be done occasionally or regularly?
Well,
Well, yeah. So,
yeah, so for me, actually, it should be a way of life, it's something that you can do unconsciously. So it should be a way of life. It should be what you guys do all the time. It's not occasionally. It's something that you must do all the time. So it's a way of life. I mean, you don't need to practice hard to tell your spouse, I love you, or I appreciate you, or I'm happy I'm married to you. I hear spouses say, oh, I forbid the day I met you. It goes a long way to actually I mean, uh, create a lot of issues. Uh, I mean, if you tell me, God forbid the day I met you, then it's weird. You're going to take a long time for me, for it to clear out of my mind. So someone said, I think some people are not word for compliment, but some women love being seen and complimented too. How can you help your spouse build the culture of giving compliments? Okay, so over to
yeah,
you.
you have. I think Mr. rightly said that before now, that you have to start it. If you know you are the type that loves compliments a lot, you want to be acknowledged, you want to be appreciated. You have to start because, like I always say, marriage is not all about similarities. It's how we handled our differences that makes a marriage work. I think lately I was discussing with someone that planning to go into the marriage institution. So I remembered vividly what I told the person. You don't have to look for your similarities. You have to start now taking note of the differences. And why taking note of the differences? Not just taking note of them, but you have to see how both parties can align. So how do we handle these differences? Because we are from different backgrounds, whether we like it or not. So each of us we came into the marriage with different um uh, perspective, different upbringing. So which we bring into the marriage. But if your spouse is not that type that um, knows how to compliment and you love to be complimented, so why don't you start by saying it? Just like Mr. said, in the house it's not it's not that expressive when it comes to those compliments. I think
Mm.
it does more of showing affection than actually expressing it. Yeah, it could come around you, hug you, give you peg, but some but other times we also want to hear these things. Women now, these things brings little butterflies now. Those butterflies that you feel on your stomach. So we like to hear them because we don't want to. It's very bad when you begin to hear those things that are supposed to come from your spouse. You are hearing it from outside. So these are things that have really caused issues in marriages. And
Mm.
when that thing that you lack and another person is giving it to you, before you know, you are somehow drawn to that person. You always want to be with that person. Before you know, you are beginning to find happiness, solace in the hands of that other party. So answer to this comment now is, if you are that type that loves compliment, like me, I like it a lot, because if you don't give me, I will grumble. I don't know how to keep my mouth shut. I will always say it. Like yesterday, I was like, in fact, I was just walking all through the day, no one supporting
Wow.
me. So all I needed was that compliment. And when I look, it was not coming from Mister. I had to just voice it out. Me, I don't know. He knows me. Now. I don't know how to get things. I'll just say, you just be looking at me like this. I will just wonder, I will just fall down and die, those kind of things. So I just want that simple gesture, that simple, oh, well done. Don't worry,
Mm.
now, don't worry. When I have time, I will assist. So sorry, all those stuff. So I must say it. So start by introducing it. So when you introduce it and your partner is not responding or it's not reciprocal, you just like, I just told you I love you. What do you say? The person will be forced to say something. Just guys, it's a gradual process. It's not a
Can
day's
I
job.
say something? Okay, so for me, let me just speak a bit, on that. Yeah, so if your partner is not that type that compliments you, saying those kind of words to compliment you, you know, for sure, this happens. Compliments will come in a very peaceful atmosphere, so you need to create an environment
Mm.
that will attract compliments. You understand? You need to create an environment where most times people don't compliment us because you have already complimented yourself. For instance, we men, we are not wired to actually stay in a place where there's so much complaint. So when you for instance, if I said, can you help me with, water to drink, and you say, oh no, I can't do it, this, and you finally do it, I'm not going to say thank you. But the thank you will flow naturally. Like someone said, it has to be natural.
It has to be natural.
It will flow naturally when I say, can you help me with a glass of water, please? And you bring the water for me, I'll say, oh, thank you. It will just flow naturally. So you have to create an environment of such thing to happen. It will never happen if you have already complimented yourself. You have already praised yourself that you are one doing everything in the house. Come on, the guy is just going to wear his trouser and walk away, just to keep his ear closed. So we need to create the environment for that. I'm a man, so I can speak from the men's perspective.
Are there men in the house? Please comment. We want to know your comment. Are you in support of Mr. Because he's just saying what he normally do. You know, if I complain, and you say you have already complained, now, so what do you want me to do again?
So,
So I want the men in the house to to say if they are in support of what the minister just said
yeah,
now.
so like I said, there must be an atmosphere of tranquility, atmosphere of peace, atmosphere of joy, atmosphere of happiness, and those things flows in naturally. You can actually show it as well by saying it and by doing it. Either way you do it, your spouse understands the language. In those days, if you cut the eye to your wife or your child, he understands what you are saying. So if you move your hand like this, you understand what you are saying in a particular situation. So we should also be able to understand body languages of our spouse, even when they cannot say it. If they can show it through their body language, which is more weighty anyway, which means you are doing it, not just saying it, because some people can say it and they really don't mean it. When you lead the judge that in those days,
Yeah. So it's not natural.
it's not natural. It doesn't come from the heart. It just comes from the
It's
face.
not genuine.
So yeah. So let's learn to please, especially women love it a lot.
Yeah.
Women love it. But not only women, we guys love it as well.
Okay.
And that is why you see all these Igbo women, they say, Agarisha, my Odogu, they'll be hailing them, I see these praise singers in the party. But come on, we love it. We want to be treated like babies. If you treat your husband like a baby, he's gonna pour everything on you, all the good things. He's gonna release. In fact, he'll go to the treasure and just release it. So treat him like a baby, praise him. Also, the women are very soft as well. You need to give it to them more than they give it to you, because that will make them have more strength. They can break down easily. They will have resilience. So they need it more. Also, we need it as well. So let's compliment one another. If you see the weakness, don't show it that, oh, that is why I don't like you because you cannot do this. You have to just a bit say, oh, come on, don't worry. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I remember when my wife was going for driving this thing. It's so difficult, to get your driving test passed over here. And, at first, because I was away, she needs to take the kids to school. I was paying someone to take the kids to school. It was so expensive and all that. Hey, she will come and say, oh, I couldn't make it. Oh my God. I'll say, I won't even bother. What did I say? Oh yeah, let me pay for the next, test. But somehow and I calmed down and I said, oh, this thing is not easy. Don't worry. I encourage her. You'll get it. Don't worry. Never mind, it's not so important. Take your time. I think that was the time.
Yeah, it was actually the last time you stopped, castigating me, because each time I fail, I will just be looking at his special containers. I don't even need to be told that he's not happy with me. And it got to a stage that even my instructor it was first to ask me, is your husband not happy with you? Because you're always tense, and the only thing that comes to your mouth is, oh, my husband will not be happy with me, I failed again. So I had to tell him that, see what my instructor said. I think that kind of got to him. He had he really took it hard on him. And the next time I was programmed for my next driving test, he just told me it's not a big deal, just go. Either way, it's fine. If you don't make it, I will just continue now, no problem. Don't think about the money, don't think about my shouting and all that. And I went there, I was really relaxed because I wasn't tense. I wasn't thinking of, oh, what could be the next action? And by the grace of God, I passed that test. So, which brings us to, what are the benefits of compliments? Are they benefits? What are the benefits of compliments? Mister,
Yeah. So
is there any benefits you want to share with the house?
yeah, so they're actually so huge. There are many. Uh, the first one is to build confidence. Like she said, when I actually told her, never mind, I have confidence in you. I know you can make it. I know you can make. Don't mind them; they are just failing you. And she went there with confidence, and I mean, when there's no confidence, if you don't build a confidence, she holds the steering like this. She will do like this. You know, you understand that when she went there with full assurance that hey, even if I fail it, no problem, nothing will happen. And she held it firm, and she was able to make it. So it gives, it reminds your spouse they are valid, you value them, they are attractive, capable, and they are appreciated. And it builds confidence in the home. And when there is no confidence in a home, the home crashes.
Mm.
The reason many marriages fail today is because there is no confidence.
Oh, so it brings
So it brings out the best in an individual. Thank
yeah.
you so much, madam. Yeah.
Thank you.
It brings out the best in an individual. When you appreciate the person, it brings confidence, and that confidence brings out the best in that person. Thank you so much. That's the right word.
That's a very
Bring out the
good one.
best
Yeah.
in any person. Man, woman, it brings out the best. Even when I fail, make me know that yes, it's not, I mean, it's not a do or die. Even when I fail,
Yeah.
I'll still rise again.
I know, and that's one thing sometimes you don't like about me. When something don't go right,
Uh,
um, what some he hates it when you bring that blame game, and I do that
mm,
often unconsciously. I'll just say, "Hey, but
mm,
I told you the other time that this thing." So it's not at that stage you start bringing that blame game. It can
mm,
just, it could trigger the person. And he always tell me something that I hate it when you bring this blame game. If I fail, if I do something wrong,
You have to support me.
you have to support me.
true.
And it took me a very long time to begin to understand, because when it's my turn and he start blaming me, I feel it too. So if it could be that painful to me, so why should I be doing it to another person? So I have to just learn, because me, I'm a blaming game mama. That blame game syndrome. Any little thing, even my children don't say, Mom is going to talk, Mom is going to blame someone. So it's something that I had to really take into consideration, and I start building myself against it. So
Yeah, so
yeah, because it brings
it
out
applies to kids as well.
yeah, everyone in the
Even
home.
when the kids don't perform the way you expect them to perform, hold them strong. Say, oh, I know you guys can make it. I mean, I know you can do it. You can make it. And it makes them to be confident as they go into the class the next time to take an exam. So it shows that's another way to show love, by believing and through that bringing the best out of
Mm.
people. I think it's challenges. Someone wrote, he said, I think it challenges you to do more, and it becomes a family tradition
Mm.
that kids learn from. Most times, when the kids, they fought in something, she will be shouting. I'll just hold the
Yeah.
child to me and say, "Oh, don't worry, you'll be fine, don't worry." And they'll just start crying, "Oh, that." That's just all they need to move to the next level. That's all they need. So, yeah. So,
Yeah. So what to me, confidence brings love, trust. You know, if I fail, I know I have someone that will understand,
that will comfort
that
you.
will comfort me. So it brings love, and it strengthens emotional bonds between
True.
couples. Yes, there's no distance. So there's no vacuum that is created when you feel you will not be complimented. There's already a vacuum there. There's already a vacuum. There's somebody in the Bible that I admired, and that's the person of Sarah. Sarah in the Bible called her husband my Lord. I'm just laughing because this just bring to remembrance. I have a friend, she's like a sister to me. She's my prayer partner. So we always talk about our weaknesses, things we don't do well as wives, as mothers. So when we meet in our prayer session, we always, talk about our weaknesses. And in one of these sessions, we gave ourselves like an assignment. Oh, okay, we are going to behave like Sarah. We are going to be soft spoken. We are going to be this. We're going to be this. We want to emulate so person, so character. But do you know the funny thing? That was the period we agreed to be calm, soft spoken, and everything.
Mm.
That was the period as if devil just came to sit in our homes. That was the period the men started giving us bad bros. A lot of chaos going on in our home. So I told her, I said, I don't understand though. I can't I can't be like Sarah. We need to in fact, me, I have to give my goes back. Oh, I can't, so it's not easy. So we have to learn. Yeah, life is all about learning. We keep learning, relearning. No one is perfect. So I really admire Sarah. So do you think calling your spouse's pet names is it part of compliments? Tega, what do you have to say? Calling pet names, praises, showering praises through pet
It,
name callings, is it part of compliments?
yes, an example of compliments, calling them pet names. But
Hmm.
it will be tested when you're angry.
Yes.
If you
you know, for pet name, you call the
Well,
person's
so
name.
so 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 most times, like I read something, and the lady wanted to go through a divorce, and he went to see the counselor, and he said, "Oh, I'm falling in love with my colleague in the office," and he said, "Oh, really?" And I want to divorce and marry him. And the guy actually he said, "That your colleague? Do you guys have kids together?" I said, "No." "Do you guys pay bills together?" I said, "No." He said, "Okay. Um, it's like a safe space for you. Office is a place where everybody laugh and everything. By the time you start paying bills with that person the way you pay with your husband, by the time you start having kids with that person, is this compliment that the person gives to you every day, is it going to continue?" So yeah, so we say it creates emotional connection, closeness, bond, and everything. Let's also not forget that, there are a lot of issues in the world today that actually can make things a bit difficult, that can make things difficult. So, my advice is, do not look at what somebody outside that doesn't face all those issues with you can compliment you every day.
Hmm.
You do not compare it to the person that faces all the issues with you, because it's not going to be the same. Because that's where people make a lot of mistakes, and it's not going to be the same. But let's appreciate each other. For instance, your wife goes to work, comes back, she has the kids to prepare for the next day and all that. You don't expect her at that time to be uh, giving you compliments, or "You look so handsome today." He's not going to see your face as a handsome man. Someone outside sees you as a handsome man, doesn't see you as a handsome man at home. You get what I mean? So
Yeah.
let's be very practical, in how we deal and see all these issues. Let's not forget where we are. There are a lot of issues. I have a lot to look out for in my business, in my daily life. The bills are encroaching. You have to pay everything. You don't leave anyone. And at that point, it's not a point. You're actually waiting for that person to say he wants to look at the hair you made. You might even remind you, say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't see it." You know, so there are a lot of issues, but at the same time, when we have the slightest opportunity, don't use it. You can go and meet you and say, "Ah, baby, you didn't see my hair." There's one, makeup marriage couple that I watched on the social media. Let them say, "Oh, babe, I need you to lend me money." Say, "Babe, no, it's your money. It's your money. It's your money. Come on. Some of those things don't happen in real life. So let's face realities in as much as our expectations are very high. Let's not forget that there are a lot of issues as well, and face them as well. Even as we face all these things, we will still find time, but approach them with love. If the man didn't see your hair that you made, other people must have seen it outside. Don't mind them. The guy is busy. Walk up to him and say, "Oh,
Show
babe,
the hair.
show the hair. Come on. Did you not see? I just made my hair today." You say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't see it." It happens to me. Most times I want to say, "Oh, you didn't see my hair." I say, "Come on. Are you not seeing all the meetings throughout today? Trying to solve problems." So yeah, let's not forget about the issues. Look for a way to complement one another, despite all the issues.
Yeah. So yeah, if your partner is not the complementary type, initiate it. Like in my house now, my second son is the one that knows mommy has changed her look, mommy has changed hair, mommy's dress is fine. Daddy will not say it. So when my son says that, I'll just go and meet it. I say, okay, so are you not seeing my hair? I made a new hair. So it's not, we are not wired the same way. So we should try and understand. Try to initiate. If you are that type that loves compliments, or compliment is good. It's not you have to love, it's has to be a way of life. It has to be natural. But not everyone knows how to start or how to say it. You can initiate. Don't be ashamed to initiate. Keep saying until the person changes. Don't be discouraged.
Yeah. So we also consider that compliment is not immaterial. You don't show compliment mostly by giving money. You have to show it through all the stuff we have mentioned. Most times people just say, what does this woman want? I've given her. She has everything. She's still looking for my trouble. Most times we'll see it as trouble. So yeah, but let's just be there to make them know. They said this is truly relatable in most homes.
Yes.
Yes, most homes will experience it. Most men are not wired that way. Most women are not wired that way. But in any way you show it, make sure you show it and let the person know. If you can actually take it step further to say it, say it 20 times, 100 times. I know how my wife smiles. It creates a peaceful environment. When she's tense and I just come and use my hand to knock her, and kiss her, and say, "Oh, babe, well done." Nothing I would have done without you. You get what I mean? So it just cooled her nerves. You just see her, she just do this, her baby face, that kind of thing. So yeah, so that's it for you. We must learn these languages. We must learn how to show it. It goes a long way to create a peaceful atmosphere, create bond between the family, create confidence. What is the language they use? Say it brings out the
The
best
best, yeah.
of your spouse. In both ways, it brings out the best. Yeah.
There's something I saw. There's this on social media. There's this. Will I call it skit or what? So the person will just walk up to someone and say, "Who do you like best? Who do you want to call?" So they met a woman. So who do you love best? Who do you want to call? He said, "Oh, my husband." And the woman placed it. Say, "Can you call the person now?" She made the call, placed the call to the husband. And she said, okay, the person anchoring it said, "Tell your your husband that you love him, you know. So she said, I love you. The man kept mute. It the woman had to ask the man, did you hear what I just said? He said,
So what do you
yeah,
want?
I'm hearing that. I have heard you say, I love you. Say, oh, okay, thank you.
Because
I,
the man is scared. What do this woman
I
want this
really no,
time?
I was so embarrassed. I feel for the woman, you know. But it goes to shows that it's not something that they do
It's a
all the
strange
time.
word.
It's a strange word, you know, from the woman. The man hearing it from the woman, like, what's going on? I hope this woman is okay. I hope this woman, you know. So I really felt bad. It really got to me. I like, wow, you know. So it's something that we have to really learn. Something that we just have to.
Just one sincere sentence can actually change the
Yeah.
entire mood in a home. Just one sentence, maybe two words that forms a sentence can actually change the entire mood of a home. You know, a home that is tense can just be lighting up. You know, just one sentence. Words matters a lot. You know, even the Bible appreciates it that words, spoken words outside the world. It was through spoken word God created the world.
Yeah.
Let there be light, and there was light. So let's use our mouths to actually speak words that can edify one another, that can edify our homes, you know, because that's what the Bible teaches us. Yes, so yeah, but
Yeah, so spoken words, yes. So when Mr. was just talking about God creating the world, you know, as something big as light, it just was created by mere spoken words, you know. So which brings us to there is a story. I like to share stories from the Bible. Is the person of a story about Abigail. So Abigail is the wife of a very wealthy man. And are we still on? Tega is Tega still there? Okay, still on.
Okay.
You know, so Abigail married to a wealthy man. So what happened? The man that Abigail's husband, very arrogant, is not the soft-spoken type, and the man had an issue with David, King David, spoke harshly, just the way he used to address his wife at home, you know. He extended it to David, and David was so angry. The wife, being afraid that, oh, David is a powerful man, he's going to, you know, do something bad to her family, quickly went to David, spoke to him very calmly in a soft-spoken manner, went with gift, and she was able to, you know, plead with David to spare her household. Do you know that when the husband of the woman passed on, David did not hesitate to marry that woman? That goes to show that, you know, people love compliment, people love to be soft spoken to. So we've really dealt a lot with this topic, and we'd love to draw the curtains. Yeah. Thank you for always being there. Thank you for all the comments. Feel free to also comment. We're also going to be read your comments. Thank you. Please subscribe to our channel, pop in your likes and your comments. And this is the Glorified Family Outreach. Please follow us on all our lives. Hopefully next week we'll be coming up with another lives. Thank you very much. And
yes,
that is a wrap up from us.
Yes, thank you so much. God bless you. We look forward to seeing you again. You know, in a closing remark, I just want to say one sincere word, you know, can actually brighten the mood of a home. It can change the mood in a home. Let's speak those words to our spouses, to our children. Thank you. God bless.
Bye.